The tsunami of uncertainty. The tsunami. Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat. Mark, the tsunami of uncertainty. So that came out of your mouth for today's show, The Psychic and the Doc. You're the psychic.
And you're the doc.
I'm trying to figure out what I am in this world. Today in this show, I'm going to, I'm all...
The whole country, and it's funny too, is here I am in Florida, East Coast, Central Florida, and you are in the Pacific Northwest, okay?
Coast to coast.
So, coast to coast, we represent the continental United States, and everyone from here to Alaska to Hawaii has been hit by the tsunami of uncertainty. And Dr. Pat and I are here to talk about navigating through these uncertain times. And we're not here to endorse any political philosophy or whatever, but everybody knows the election has got everybody biting their nails on edge and all this tension. And Dr. Pat, I posted a quote from Abraham Lincoln all over social media yesterday. And it said, "Whoever wins, stay calm. We are not enemies, we are friends." And I believe that about...
I thought that quote was from The Bride of Frankenstein.
Well, that's kind of what's going on here. But most of the people received it very well, but there's a huge number of people who are writing nasty comments from both sides of the aisle.
Oh, yeah, about your quote.
About the quote. And what we have to realize is because someone doesn't agree with you, it's no reason to demonize them or to hate them. That is what America is. We are an open forum of discussion and ideas. And I want to tell a quick story about free speech. Years ago, I was in the Soviet Union, and I was only a kid. I was like 17, and I was part of this exchange program. And the instructor, we called him, my American friends, we nicknamed him the product of the state. Okay, because he was everything, Russia this, Soviet Union this, we are better. And he was going on, and we were in class about Soviet Constitution. And he said that America Constitution, Soviet Constitution guarantee right of free speech. And so, I was 17 and a bit of a smart aleck. And I go, wait a second. You're saying free speech? The Soviet Union really has free speech? And he'd had about enough of my comments, for the past couple of days. And I'll never forget this, Dr. Pat. He comes up to me, he puts his hands on my desk and leans over and looks me right in the eye and goes, "American boy, difference between Soviet Constitution and American Constitution is not freedom of speech. but freedom after you make speech. And let me tell you, I got the message loud and clear.
You know, I mean, today's show, we're talking about the tsunami of uncertainty. And I love the way we came up with that. People don't know, like, our process. Like, what happens? We get on these calls, and we start thinking about intuitively what we're getting. But that statement you just made, we are in a country where I can pretty much today say what's on my mind right here in this show.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you, we're on Facebook. And there's no way on Facebook we're going to talk about any conspiracy theory things or anything like that because they yank you down. I already know that. But we can talk here, you know. But and are we going to raise a flag? Is there something we're going to say that's going to cause the government to look at us? Yeah, I've been there. You know, becoming an advocate for Lyme disease back in 2004, that is not a fashionable thing you do to tell the government they have missed the mark, that they are not reporting Lyme disease properly. How many people are doing that now with COVID-19? I didn't gain any government contracts during the time where we went after, myself, Dr. Darvish, Dr. Ronnie, we went after the CDC. We did Lyme disease events all over the world. You know, we did demonstrations. You know, we had a senator, can't name his name, who had a kid come to the event, and the kid was getting ready to sit on the lawn in front of the Senate seat. And my friend, with her white sheet, took the white sheet. I grabbed the kid. They thought, arrest her. I was not going to hurt the senator's kid. Trust me, I was saving the kid. Maybe, I don't know. Took the white sheet and brushed the white sheet on the ground. Now, when you do that, thousands of ticks. Now, what are we speaking up for? Are we speaking? But most importantly, how do we live and thrive in the tsunami of uncertainty? How do we do that? When have you been most uncertain, Mark, in your life?
Oh my gosh. Many different times in my life. Certainly when I was out of the United States, you know, because we take freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, freedom of religion for granted. And I've been in many different countries in the third world and in Russia and throughout Europe where those things are not guaranteed and feeling very, very uncertain. And people in this country, it's okay to speak your mind and it's okay to have your belief system, but you have to realize that that's part of America. We're not like a school of fish in this country.
Yeah.
Americans just don't do what they're told, okay? We're a rebellious sort. That's what gave birth to this country. But what's going on right now is, and actually, Dr. Pat, this uncertainty that's happening, it has flushed a lot of things to the surface.
Yeah.
The racial tension, the white supremacy, the economic strain, issues about healthcare, guns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I actually think that this has been a good thing because this turbulence has forced us to acknowledge that these are issues. But this turbulence is also causing a lot of people fear. People are scared right now. We're in a pandemic. Millions of people are out of work. They don't know if they're going to be going back. The services industry, restaurants and leisure things. I live in Central Florida. We have theme parks here. Big part of the economy here is based on tourism. This has really hurt us. This has really hurt the whole country. And that's why we decided, everybody, to do this show, because the whole country got hit by this wave. It's not just political. It is the pandemic. It is economic. It is a tsunami. And, you know, Dr. Pat, the way I felt to deal with all these things, because there's been many times in my life where things completely bottomed out, okay, where, oh my gosh, you know, I thought I would be living on the streets and that type of thing, and I made it through. And I found that focusing on my family, focusing on my job, focusing on my mental, emotional, physical, spiritual well-being. And that may sound cliche, but that is what people need to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say this is a live call-in show for all of you folks out there, and I want to be very clear. It is. This is a show we decided to do for you. The phone lines are ringing off the hook. For those of you that are listening, if you go over to Transformation Talk Radio, no, that's not where you go. You go to facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio, you'll be able to communicate. But we made this a show to reach out to you because we are living in a time of uncertainty, and it differs. It differs from where I am in Washington State. I'm a New York girl. I grew up in New York. I live in New Jersey. I understand that information, that dynamic. And one of the things I want to say is uncertainty, the blow of uncertainty in my life. I've had a lot of uncertain things in my life. But the greatest blow for me was job loss. At a time in my life where I thought, dude, are you kidding me? I got 6 months before I could retire. I'm young. I'm supposed to implement downsizing and you're firing me. And that turned out to be a moment of uncertainty that put me in a direction to get me to where I am today. But uncertainty and the tsunami of uncertainty requires skills and support. I want to make this statement. I want to go to break. I live here, you live on the East Coast, but there's an entirely different thing happening in the middle. Let me explain. I have friends that had to drive to the Midwest to find their folks or their sisters and their brothers that are hospitalized with COVID. And the experience that my friends are having at those places are very different than here. We don't walk in an elevator without a mask. We don't walk in public. We're in studio here, and if I get caught with any of my people not having a mask, I can be shut down. That is not the rest of the country. That's not when we went to Montana. And what's happening now is that degree of uncertainty is like a tsunami. Remember a tsunami? It goes out and everything gets calm. And I believe people are feeling emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. What do I do? We're going to take a very, very short break, everybody. And when we come back, I think we might want to go to the phones. What do you think?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, David, TJ, why don't you take us to a really short break? Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Psychic and the Doc. I'm Dr. Pat, and my sidekick over here is the one and only Mark Anthony. We just started this show. This is our second show. There's a lot coming from us. You're going to hear a lot about us because this show was created for all of you. I've said this a million times. You are the best on the planet, and we're going to go right to the phones. We are talking about uncertainty. Mark, one, how do people find out more about you? Where do they go? How do they connect with you?
Sure.
I don't know, maybe order pizza, something.
My website is evidenceofeternity.com, which is the same as my last book, Evidence of Eternity. And people can sign up for my newsletter because I want to keep you up to date on what's coming up on the Psychic and the Doc. Follow me on social media, find out about my books, and schedule a phone session with me as well.
Yeah, and if you want to, I love that because everything's on your website, right? And they could get your books too. I'm not sure how the book thing works since there's agonizing over it.
Yeah. When you go to the homepage, there's different bars, and one of them is both my books. They're in audio, and both of my books are in several different languages, but everything on my website's in English. Evidenceofeternity.com, and I like to keep people updated on the appearances that I'm doing because not just we're not just doing this show, but I'm going to be guest appearing on 2 of Dr. Pat's shows on the Dr. Pat Show because it's important now for us to be helping and guiding people through this tsunami of uncertainty because it's not just this show, it's this whole pandemic.
Yeah, it is. And, why are Mark and I doing this? Because we not only have we been there, we know what it's like in so many ways, uncertainty in so many ways. you know, we've talked about this before. I want to go to the phones. But there was nothing more uncertain for me in my life when I came down with a mystery disease. Immediately came down with an entire body that blew up like a balloon. And so, how can we help people learn from what we've been through? Because what's today? Transformation Thursday, a little crust busting too. All right, David, let's go to the phones.
Okay, I think we got Vicky from Fairfax, Virginia. Vicky, you're on with Dr. Pat Baccili and Mark Anthony on the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, Vicky. Hey, Vicky, can you hear us?
Okay, you want to take another caller?
Yeah, what happened
All
to
right.
Vicky? She'll
I
come
don't
back. Come
know.
on, Vicky, come on back.
All right, so we got, let's see, let's go to Vegas.
John from Vegas?
All right, John from Vegas, you're on with Dr. Pat Baccili and Mark Anthony on the Psychic and the Doc.
Hey, John.
Is that me?
Are you John? Or are you Vicky?
No, I'm Jan from Vegas.
Jan
That's okay.
from Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know you.
I'm telling you, this show's about
Okay.
uncertainty, and there you got to experience it. You could be Jen, you could be John. There you go. How can we help you today, Jen?
That's okay. Thanks so much for taking my call. Yeah, I
I can barely. I'm sorry. I can
about
barely
the-
hear. It's
Oh,
Yeah,
all.
can you guys adjust the audio on the caller?
Yeah, it's all distorted.
Got it.
Yeah. Back away from your phone a
Yeah.
little bit because you have a really good thing, a really hot phone signal. So maybe just back away from a little from the mouthpiece. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jen.
Can you hear me now? Is it all right?
Go ahead, keep talking. I think you're getting better. I think we're adjusting it mentally.
Okay. Well, Dr. Pat, I'm going through a health dilemma. It's so severe right now, and it's
Yeah.
a mystery, and the doctors can't figure it out. And I'm going to one after the other, and going to the ER. And I've been so sick the last 8 months, and I've lost a lot of weight, and it's not getting any better, and they're still not figuring it out. And I just wondered if Mark might have some info from someone on the other side, or just psychically, whatever.
Yeah. And we apologize for the audio. I'm hoping, David, you're going to get on top of that real quick, the caller audio. Yeah,
Oh.
health disease crisis, right? Wow, my heart goes out to you, Jen.
Yes.
Really.
Jen, is
Definitely.
I'm picking up on a female spirit around you that has a very maternal way about her. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean,
Okay.
it's your mom, but it's a woman on that generational level. And what I'm getting with her is that her passing was not a big surprise. I get this draining sensation throughout my body. What a draining sensation means is that her passing was not a quick event. And I'm getting a lot of endocrine issues, particularly with the pancreas, with the liver, with her stomach as well. And there's a complexity with her thyroid, and I'm getting the swelling in lymph glands. And the interesting or notable thing about the swelling with the lymph glands, this could indicate some type of cancerous condition that may have metastasized. Do you recognize this person?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Okay, so I figure we got a maternal
She had
energy
all
here.
kinds of-
She's zeroing in on
all
two
kinds
things
of-
with you:
yeah,
thyroid
she
and
was very
Epstein-Barr
sick, yeah.
virus. Now, I know Epstein-Barr was, I don't want to say popular, but it was, they call it, or they still do, chronic fatigue syndrome until it came up the name Epstein-Barr. And this
Yeah.
is some type of element, or whatever you're suffering from is related to that. And it's complicating the functions of your thyroid gland. So the treatment that you're going to have is you're going to have to go through the protocols of treating Epstein-Barr and to stabilizing your thyroid. Because what I'm getting with your thyroid is it's causing this hormonal fluctuation up and down, and that's what's depleting you, making you fatigued, tired. In other words, you feel sick, but nobody can quite put a finger on it, and they're all telling you, well, you should be healthy, right? Isn't that what they're telling you? You should be healthy because we can't find anything wrong with you.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Um,
So the thyroid needs to be
AB. What
stabilized.
type of blood are you?
And-
What blood type are
I
you?
didn't hear it. What?
What type
What
of
is-
blood
I'm
type are
type
you?
B positive.
B positive.
That's weird. I keep getting AB, AB, AB. So I can't take that on the B positive. But there's something definitely going on with. Do you have too many red blood cells? In other words, are your white blood cells diminished? Have they done a test on that?
Yes, and right now the white cells are okay. Sometimes they do diminish, but the blood red. There's
I'm
something
sorry,
wrong
I
with the red
can't
blood
understand a
cells.
thing that she's
Yeah, I'll
saying.
translate.
Yeah.
I can translate. So I think what you're saying is sometimes the white blood cells are okay, but sometimes they go up and sometimes they go down, right, Jen?
Yes, the red goes up and the white goes down.
Oh, the red goes up and the white goes down. So you're having some fluctuation. So you're not having sort of a
Yes.
stability with the blood cells. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's what they have to look into is Epstein-Barr virus
Yeah.
and thyroid functioning because the combination of this is causing white blood cells to go down and it's causing this intense fatigue on your system. Plus the thyroid and the Epstein-Barr are what are causing this weight loss. Now, what I'm getting from the spirit is something to take under advisement. You follow the advice of your doctor. I want to make that very clear. You follow your medical advice. But, I have to say that. But what I'm getting is thyroid involvement. And the Epstein-Barr is depleting your white blood cells. And as you indicated, they're going down and the red blood cell count is going up. So once they look into these issues, they meaning the doctors, your medical professionals, they can bring this into stasis, homeostasis, and then you're going to start feeling better. Don't expect this to be over anytime soon. I think this is a fairly drawn out process. It's going to take about the better, what your mom's telling me, the spirit of your mother is telling me, the better part of the next 6 months. But she said, have courage, have faith, have courage, have faith. I'll tell you one thing about your mom. She was very ill prior to passing, but through it all, she never gave up hope. She was a very determined person. And I know Dr. Pat and I were joking around about Dr. Pat's hair color, but you're and I guess because of the lighting and all this. Personally, I think she looks great. But is there something that you're doing with your hair dye and hair color? Because your mom keeps bringing that up.
I do get it dyed, but I stopped because I think it might be not good for me.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
you
go.
stop.
That
Yeah.
mom is giving you the thumbs up on that. Stay away from the hair dye for a while. Let's get your health conditions under control, and then you can look at some more natural, less severe chemical. I don't know enough about hair dyes, but I'm sure there's some type of organic or
Yeah, they are.
or less. Okay, good. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting. Dr. Pat, do you have any insights on this?
Yeah, I have a little bit, Jen. I just want to leave you with this, and we'll be talking about it on another show. You're in the realm of uncertainty in an arena where it affects your livelihood, your body. It affects that thing where you feel absolutely no control. At least that was my experience of it, right?
Yes, totally.
Totally. If it wasn't for this radio show, which at the time I had started 6 months prior to the mystery disease, just like you, if it wasn't for plugging into things I'd never heard of, positive radio, and then creating that venue for others, it kept me alive on the inside. Do you see what I'm saying? Alive on the inside.
Uh-huh.
So what I would encourage you to do, and this is not a show where I tell you what that is, but what I would encourage you to do is find that thing that keeps you alive on the inside. It could be playing poker. It could be painting. It could be walking. It could be cooking. But do you have a thing that gives you a spark, right? That's what you want to find.
Yes, I do. I write poetry. That helps me
That's
greatly.
it. Now, I got to tell you, if you're a poetry writer, I'm telling you, this was the most cathartic thing in my life. And I'm telling you, I did some crazy looking paintings during this time, and I ain't a painter. So get into the zone of that and watch how it heals you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
Much
both
love
so
to you,
much.
Jen.
This is
You're on the
fantastic.
way. You're on the way to transformation. Don't give up.
Amen. Oh, I can't wait. Thank you.
Amen, sister. All right, let's go to one more caller. Who do we have there, David?
Sure, we got Denise from Florida.
Denise from Florida.
Yeah, Denise, you're on the Psychic in the Dock with Dr. Pat Baccili and Mark Anthony.
Hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise. This is Mark Anthony and Dr. Pat. Are you there?
Hello, Denise.
Hey, let's go to a break. Let's go to a short break, everybody, so we can figure out what's going on here with the energy vibration of the telephone system. And we'll be right back. When we come back, we promise we're going to hit it up with the phone. So y'all that are on here, hang on. Don't go away. Because it's Transformation Thursday with me, Dr. Pat, and my buddy Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer and psychic explorer. We'll be right back. You know, I love that opening. It ain't Pink Floyd, but it does rock. Welcome, everybody, to the Psychic and the Doc. We're going to continue rolling, but before we do, let's give out a website. For me, right now, you can go to the Dr. Pat Show. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to go to drpatb.com. But for now, you're going to be able to hit Mark up. Lots of stuff he's got going on. Go ahead, Mark.
On evidenceofeternity.com is my website. And you can find out about upcoming episodes of The Psychic and the Doc. Also, you can order my books, follow me on social media, and sign up for a phone reading. And, you know, the show that we're doing today, the Tsunami of Uncertainty, the subtitle is Mommy, Mommy, I Want My Swami. And
Totally.
we're laughing about that because, you know, here I am, the Swami, and we got Dr. Mom here. But the truth is, a lot of people are scared right now.
Yep.
All of us, we are living in uncertain times. This protracted period after Election Day is adding to the tension. But if history's taught us anything, it's that eventually all bad times come to an end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you must never give up
Yeah.
hope. And keep your mind busy. A busy mind is a happy mind. You know, work. Get involved with your kids and engage in a creative project. We will get through this.
We are more. Whatever you think you are, folks, you're more than that. Thank you to my friend Matt James. And right now, we're going to help you see that. David, you want to take us to the next amazing caller?
Sure, we got Madeline from New York. Madeline, you're on with Dr. Pat Baccili and Mark Anthony.
Hi. Hi, Madeline. Madeline or Madeline?
Hi,
Which one do you want me to call you?
Madeline's fine, thank you.
Madeline from New York, right?
Yes,
Long Island.
Long Island.
How can I help you today? I want to get you right to Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Madeline, how you doing?
Good. My dad passed away like a month ago, and I just want to make sure.
Hold on.
everything's
Oh my
okay.
gosh, I almost said it. I go, there is a male energy with you, and please forgive me. I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a male energy next to you that is just chomping at the bit to talk to you. Was he having a lot of problems with his throat and breathing prior to passing? And the reason I'm saying this is I'm feeling a burning sensation in my throat and in my upper lungs. So this is indicating pulmonary involvement. And God, my mid and low back are killing me. So he was in a lot of physical discomfort prior to passing. Throat, upper lungs, and mid to low back. Does any of that make sense with you, Madeline?
Yeah, it does make sense, yeah.
Okay, great. Hold on. This sounds really weird, but he's holding a rabbit up by the ears. I mean, he's not being cruel. It's an image. And what would Elmer Fudd always say? I'm looking for a widow bunny wabbit. Is there some joke between the two of you with Bugs Bunny or Elmer Fudd or something? I know that sounds odd, but boy, this is coming right through me.
No. Not that I know of, no.
Did you guys ever go to Universal Studios?
No.
Hold on. There's something here. Gosh, you know, this is one of those things that after the reading, it's going to make sense to you. There's a period after the reading I call the unfolding, and it can take hours, days, weeks, and longer for the full impact of a reading to make sense to you. The other interpretation that I have for a rabbit could indicate the Aries time frame, which runs roughly from May 20th to April 20th. Now, that could be births, deaths, anniversaries, or events connected to your dad or you or somebody close to the two of you within the Aries time frame. Anything there makes sense?
Aries is March. Yeah.
March 20 to April 20th. Yes.
Yeah. My mom passed away in March.
Your mom passed in that time frame. So your dad's over there with your mom. Okay. Hold on. Let's see what he wants you to know. Now, this whole theme of the tsunami of uncertainty, your dad just passed barely a month ago. And certainly when that happens, that pulls the rug out from under you. And what he's telling me is that you feel certainly that that's what happened, but he's also extremely impressed at how you haven't buckled under the stress and that you're actually much stronger than you even thought you were. So your dad's giving you kudos on that. The other thing he's talking about, though, with you is there's something about you and Pectin, Pectin. Are you on any type of medications where you're not supposed to maybe eat grapefruit? Or is there something about Pectin? But I'm tasting it in the form of apple Pectin. And maybe Dr. Pat can help me with this. I'm not sure what Pectin is good for, but I know there's something about Pectin that he keeps bringing up related to you.
What is the word you're saying?
Pectin, can I ask you a question? Pectin, it's an interesting word, isn't it, Mark?
It is.
And it's used in a lot of different ways. It's one of those words you hear a lot of people say, and you're like, what's wrong with my pecs? And you're like, no, that's not Pectin. But let me give you a little shift in the practical around Pectin, if you don't mind, right? And so one of the things that Mark is saying, there's something, right, Mark, can you repeat it? Because one of the things you were saying that's coming, Pectin is playing a role in some kind of imbalance, correct?
Absolutely. There's
Okay.
something.
Can you talk more about that? Yeah.
Yeah, there's something with the color pectin, Pectin.
Yep.
It's a chemical. Apple skins have a lot of pectin. I know that I believe grapefruit has a lot of pectin. And I understand that there's a number of medications that you're not supposed to eat grapefruit if you're taking those.
Yep.
And your father's spirit in conjunction with your mother's spirit is talking to you about pectin.
Yep.
Does that make any sense to you, Madeline? Or if it doesn't, this is something that you need to have addressed.
May I put it in a context?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Does anybody in your family can preservatives? Does anybody use or make strawberry jam? Anything like that
No.
in your family or you? Or did
I
they?
used to jar tomato sauce.
Yes. So pectin is added to those kinds of things, whether you know it or not. So it may be something like that, but it also could be something you're, from a real practical level, it could be something you're ingesting. And if you're ingesting it, you don't know it's in there. Like, let's say you put, I don't know, do you have a bagel with cream cheese and jelly? So if you eat a bagel, unless you're like me, gluten-free, that's painful. But if you're like, pectin, you're having cream cheese and then you put the jelly and the jam on it. It's in there.
Right.
There's another thing too. Pectin is a fiber that's found in fruits, and it can be used for people with high cholesterol to control cholesterol, and it also is used to prevent colon cancer and prostate cancer, and also to treat GERD, the esophageal reflux, basically really bad heartburn. Is anything like that going on with you, Madeline?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so pectin, it sounds like pectin's a good thing for you, and this is the type of thing that you need to have addressed with your healthcare professional. And everything that Dr. Pat was saying is right on target there. So what's going on is, certainly you're emotionally devastated from the loss of your father. Now, he's telling me to convey to you that you're handling it much better than you think you are. And he also says to me, or said to me, that you're one tough cookie. The thing is, though, the reason that he and your mother's spirits are bringing up the pectin is that your grief is creating a lot of stress on your body, and it's in the GI tract, it's in the cholesterol, it's in this whole esophageal area, and these are things that you need to have addressed. Because what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that grief is not just an emotional or a mental thing, it impacts you physically. And so your parents are reaching out from the other side because they love you and because they want you to have these issues addressed. And pectin appears to be the key.
Yeah. May I, Mark? Can I tell you what I use pectin for? So let me give you a new from New York and a New York breakdown. So here's the deal with pectin. One of the things is it doesn't have to come from a box. So if you take one of the this is the way my grandma used it, and my mom. You take a bunch of apples and a bunch of oranges. You take the apples, and what you do: 4 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of lemon, and then what you do is you do them for a half hour on the stove. Then you strain them through the cheesecloth, right, before you boil them further. So when you reduce the volume in half, what comes out is called homemade liquid pectin. Now, why would a mother or a grandmother give that to a kid like me? Serious stomach problems as a kid, and they were natural fiber to help move things along. You see what I mean?
Right. Right.
Natural fiber. Natural fiber.
Right.
Not
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to get too personal with you on that, but
I think she
I
can put
understand.
2 and 2 together on that
Good.
one.
There we
That's
go.
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. The other thing, Madeline, I want to leave you with is really about the mind. I want to give you the symbolic definition of pectin. My symbolic, turning it into a thought definition. Here's what I know about pectin. It is, first of all, just like I described, pectin, if you use it symbolically, it freshens flavor. So if you're thinking about this as something in your life, you need to freshen the flavor in your life. Then if you look at it, wait a minute, what does pectin do? It preserves a natural color. Your energy has a natural color. You must preserve that and not let what's going on with you change that. So you need to go back to that color of joy. You need to go back to the playful nature of you, right? Just like you little chuckled here. Next, what pectin does is it gives you a texture. We are human. We have multiple textures. Bring that back in your life. And what it really does, if you're ready for this last tip, pectin allows you to get more from your jam than your fruit. Now, think about this a little, right? You're going to get more from your jam. That means you need to jam more. You feel me on that?
In more ways than one, right?
You got it.
You know what? I love working with Dr. Pat like this because when people contact, or whether when people on the other side contact their loved ones here, we all want to hear they're with you, they're around you, they love you, they want you to feel joy, and your parents know that you know that, but they're like, hey, you got a problem here with your GI tract and your stomach, and it's directly related to the grief. So that's why we're telling you this. So I want you to not only take that advice, but also realize that your parents are around you, they do love you, and they know the stress that you're going through. And Madeline, your dad is going to kick me in the wazoo if I don't reiterate it again, that you are a lot stronger than you think you are, and your parents are very impressed at how you're coping right now. So power to you. God bless you.
Yeah, get your jam on. Thanks, Madeline. We need to check in with you in a week or so, so please feel free to call in.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, good.
We all need to get our jam on right now. Thank you, Madeline. Mark, do we have time for another caller? What do you think?
Absolutely.
All right.
We're just getting warmed up.
I know, David. Come on, I know you got people in New York,
I do.
Florida, bunch of people. Let's see who you bring up next.
Okay, we got Olivia from Washington. Olivia, you're on with Dr. Pat and Mark Anthony.
Hey there, Olivia.
there.
I'm going to kick you over to Mark.
Well,
Hi, Olivia. What can I help you with?
Hi. In recent years, I've come across some information that has led me to have, I guess, a whole tsunami of uncertainty about my grandfather who passed. I guess I just have a lot of questions about him that only he can answer, and they feel very important.
Is this on your father's side of the family?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm picking up on a grandfatherly figure connected to you through the male side of your family. Do you smoke? What's with you and smoking? He's giving me this whole lecture about you and smoking, unless you're an ardent anti-smoker. But there's something about you and smoking.
Yeah,
okay.
I guess.
We'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, Dr. Pat and I, we both come from Italian and Catholic backgrounds.
Yeah.
We know guilt when we hear it.
Yeah, and being a former smoker, I remember that answer. I remember like, oh, you smoke? No. And it doesn't have to be cigarettes. When we talk about smoke now, I mean, what are we talking? Vaping, whooping, I don't know. State of Washington had medical marijuana, then we have marijuana. So
Hey,
what's
we're
the
an open-minded show here. All right, Olivia. So I'm assuming that makes sense. So what is your question?
I'm uncertain about his death, I guess. I'd like to know more about that.
Well, what I'm getting, okay, when I describe these physical symptoms, different causes of death may have a similar physical sensation to me, but what I'm getting, Olivia, is I feel like this electrical sensation going right through my body. Now, when I get this electrical shock, this could mean seizure, convulsion, neurological component. Now, certainly seizures and convulsions all have a neurological component to them, but I'm getting this horrible taste in my mouth. It's a metallic taste, like battery acid type taste. So this could indicate that, once again, seizures, convulsions. And the reason I get that is because when I was 4 years old, I went into convulsions. And when I came out of it, I had that taste in my mouth, which is why spirits access that particular memory. But the other thing this could be is some type of medication. And the weird thing, or the notable thing that he's transmitting to me, is that he appears to have been on 2-3 different medications, and there seems like there was an improper reaction that was going on, and I feel like all of a sudden I'm getting this flash of light in my head, which would be consistent with a stroke, which once again ties into this neurological electrical sensation. Does any of this make sense to you?
Well, so I know he was on the medication, but he actually, he actually died from a gunshot wound.
To the head?
I guess I'm.
Okay.
No.
The other interpretation of the metallic sensation, and I'm always very careful about those. Bullets are metallic. The metallic taste, the flash of light to the head. But what I'm getting is, leading up to this, something was going on with him neurologically, because I get numbness, I get tingling, and I get this frenetic energy, and it all feels like some type of neurological disorder that was going on with him. And
I guess I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, that's something you're going to need to look into. Now, he's telling me that there were questions whether or not this was self-inflicted due to what appears to be the angle of where the gun was when it went off into his head. Like, it seems to be more on a diagonal, whereas people think that if you're going to shoot yourself in the head, you're going to be holding the gun perpendicular to your temple. But I'm getting more of it on an angle, and I get the sense that this was self-inflicted. That's probably, and he's telling me that's really not what you wanted to hear, but that's what he is conveying to me.
Yeah, so that is what I've been told. I actually, from what I understand, he was actually shot in the heart, which was something that was questionable to me, but
I keep getting this
Yeah, I
weird
get it.
diagonal angle into his head. Now, certainly if he was shot in the heart, but maybe that's what, and look, I'm not trying to stretch to make this fit. Here's what he's telling me is that there are questions whether or not it was self-inflicted due to the angle, but I'm getting this flash of light inside the head. Now, I've
Yeah.
dealt with a lot of suicides in my career, both as an attorney and as a medium. And not everybody, when they die by self-inflicted gunshot, shoots themselves in the head. Oftentimes, people will shoot themselves in the heart as well. But he's telling me that this was self-inflicted. So that's what I'm getting. Dr. Pat, do you have any insights on this?
I think the insight for me is there are so many messages in this. And whenever I work with women and men, I have more women that I work with than men. This is a really important exercise for you. And one of the things I ask people to do is a fear inventory, FEAR, fear inventory. And what that means is, in this scenario, to bring you to the present moment, you have to address what's inside of you you fear most about this scenario. And the reason I say that is, I live and breathe by the serenity prayer. But uncertainty is one of those things, meaning if you're uncertain about how this went down and it affects us directly and there's an action to take, then that moves from uncertainty to solving the mystery. And Mark, you know about mysteries.
Absolutely.
You have to figure out this. So if you look at the prayer and it's God, universe, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You got to go inside and ask yourself, is this an action for me, or is this a point of healing? Is this a point of healing?
Olivia, do you have any inkling, do you know if he had any type of issue with a brain tumor?
A brain tumor. Not that I know of. I'll have to ask about that. I know he was on some medication. I know he had problems with his heart.
The reason I'm bringing up the brain tumor, because he keeps getting back to that flash of light in his head. And that could be a couple different things. That could be a brain tumor, but that could also be a mini stroke. That could be an aneurysm. And it's fascinating when you brought up that he has problems with his heart. Remember what I was saying? There's frenetic energy prior to passing. What I'm getting from your grandfather is he'd had it. He was over it. He was sick of what was going on with him, and he wanted to end it on his own terms. And I feel that he was having some neurological issues, which could be mini strokes and things where he felt that he was losing physical control over his body. And he was really angry at his heart for malfunctioning, which would be why he'd shoot himself there. So, and look, I know every lady I know has got some type of diamond or diamond ring. Okay, that almost goes without saying. But he is talking to me about this very small diamond. It could be in a ring, and there's some connection with you and him with this. So there may be a ring with a very small diamond in it of significance to you that is connected to the two of you in some way. The other issue with diamonds is that's the birthstone for the month of April. So that could be an indication of a birth, death, anniversary, or event connected to you or him or someone close to you within the month of April.
April. Yeah, my brother and my mom both were born in April.
Okay. All right. So be on the lookout too for that piece of jewelry, because it's a little ring. It's a small ring with a little tiny. It's like the type of ring you'd give to a really little girl. You know, like maybe a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old girl, like her first diamond ring. There's something about that he keeps bringing up. So I'll leave that with you.
Okay.
Thank you, Olivia. Mark, where do you want to go? We have about a minute left of the show. We can hop over to Facebook, or, what are you feeling?
I think we ought to tell people about next week's show,
Oh,
where we are talking about Friday the 13th.
on the 12th, though.
On the 12th. Okay, because, well, we're going to be talking about fears and phobias and how Friday the 13th may actually have had an impact upon the United States Constitution itself. And it's almost a logical show
Yeah.
to follow up from the tsunami of uncertainty.
Yeah. So, everybody, please tune in next time. You can follow us at Transformation at Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio. You can watch the live show. You could go to Transformation Talk Radio and you can download the app and you can listen from wherever you are. You can call in from there. By the way, you can ask a question from there. And then we're going to do something else as we move forward with the show. We're hoping to bring in panel audiences on Zoom. We're going to have lots of great guests. So we're taking your requests for what you want us to do. I've already got 3 emails about making this a 2-hour show. Just warning you, Mark. So thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. Mark, give out your website. So this is a good place to really say, call in next week, right?
Absolutely. Call in next week. And if people want to schedule a one-on-one session with me or sign up for my newsletter, please visit my website, evidenceofeternity.com. Same as my latest book, evidenceofeternity.com.
We love it. And for those of you out there, I want to say this about, the topic for today, right? It's a quote that I love from Muhammad Ali, and I never understood that it had to do with certainty, but it does. And he said, the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. And you can't wake up if you're in uncertainty about something in your future, something in your past. We'll see you next time, everybody.